We've got a little video for you from Duo Security.
Attackers today don't go after systems, they go after users. And for most organizations, users are now the largest attack surface. Users are mobile, users are everywhere. In an age of access, when everyone can access any application from just about anywhere, so can the attackers. Duo has made security easy for organizations at scale, enabling the kind of IT applications and environments that users want to use. Duo protects anything that you log into. When you try to log in, we'll verify your identity with a push notification to your phone. With a simple one tap, you can approve or deny that login if it is or isn't you, and you can be on your way. Behind the scenes, Duo is actually validating all the context around that login. We're making sure the device that you're using is safe. We're making sure that the context in which you're logging in is also normal. And in this way, we make security really easy for organizations and seamless for users. Duo is a subscription service. We charge for different capabilities in our product by edition. And so at our basic edition, we can validate the identity of your users. The next edition up allows you to also validate the security of those devices. And the third edition allows you to actually enable access for users in environments that are mixed cloud and on-premise. We didn't actually go out for funding. In all of the VC we've taken, we made them all come to Michigan in the dead of winter. So those guys, as California investors, we made them come to Ann Arbor, right, and trudge the snow and ice. We haven't spent their money. We've been cash flow positive, and that's something that I think is very unusual for companies at our stage of growth. 93% of all of our customers come from inbound leads. They find us versus us going out after them. We don't have to go and hustle and show our wares and try to convince people to buy our product. We take care of our customers. They tell other customers about it, and having that kind of customer-driven success, I think, is the thing we're probably most proud of.
So we have the CEO, co-founder of Duo Security, Doug Song. Please welcome him to the stage. Hi. Thanks for taking some time. Welcome to the stool.
Oh, lovely.
Get yourself comfortable. So Duo, you're based out of Michigan.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what it's like to build and run a startup that's a very heavy tech startup out of Silicon Valley, not in Silicon Valley, but outside it.
Yeah, well, I think Paul Graham once said that every place is about something, and I think New York is about money, LA is about fame, I guess DC is about power, and I guess San Francisco largely is about disruption. In Michigan, what we're about, if any of you are University of Michigan alumni, go blue.
Michigan? Anyone here from Michigan?
Woo! All right, there's always some. Michigan is about two things, right? One is learning, and the other is really, well, now that we have Jim Harbaugh, football, right? And the team. That's what makes us different or special than our competitors. We're not better resourced, we're not smarter, we don't work any harder. What we do is we actually learn together new routes of success that, again, disrupt our markets and our competitors. And so, working out of Michigan, it's a wonderful place to build engineering, with 8,000 engineers that graduate from campus every year. Right. But it's also a great place to build a business. And as we've seen the rise of so many industries come out of Michigan, like furniture, beer, cars, pizza delivery, etc.
Pizza delivery?
Pizza delivery.
Okay.
Domino's Pizza, Little Caesars Pizza.
Okay, got it, yeah, okay.
A lot of basic innovations for life. We believe, again, things like security represent that as well, and that's something, again, we're very happy to be doing there.
But as you were building it, were you getting a lot of, we're going to talk about what you do at Duo in a second, but did you get a lot of pushback from potential employees, investors? I think I heard that some investors, even top shelf ones, tried to approach you guys. You wanted you closer to them, you wouldn't go. What's the story there?
Yeah, we're sort of not exactly played hard to get, but we're happy building our business in a place free of other distractions.
Yeah.
Where I think sometimes in the Valley or in New York, you can have all this going around you, and it's very easy to end up chasing someone else's dream and getting caught up on what everyone else does. But I think starting the company in Michigan, we really had a focus, right, on what we were trying to deliver for our customers. And it turns out when that was successful, investors came to us. And so some investors that we've talked to, you know the type. They say, well, to build a successful company, you need to be in California.
Yeah.
I just think that's nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of nonsense too. I'm in London, so yeah. I understand. I understand that the Valley is not the center of the universe. But when you're like, okay, that's investors, that's employees. Like your employees are like happy to stay in Michigan, investors. What about customers though? I mean, do you find that there are any credibility gaps there?
Interesting.
You have a reputation, by the way, in hacking. So like and also, I can see where you wouldn't have that problem. But with customers, do they go, why do I want a company out of Michigan?
We don't see that too much, particularly in the wake of other Midwest company successes like Exact Target out of Indianapolis, and a number of others. So I think increasingly customers understand that tech does happen everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And there are many advantages of that. But I think over the long haul, scaling our company, we've been surprisingly successful in actually recruiting people to Michigan. With Detroit being sort of the comeback city and the story, a unique story within American history. We've recruited, for instance, the head of corporate security from Facebook, who left Menlo Park and moved to Ann Arbor.
Did you poach him, or was he looking to get closer to the morels in the forest?
It may have been the latter, pure Michigan.
I would move to Michigan to hunt mushrooms.
Yeah, we didn't poach anybody.
You didn't poach anyone. You've never poached people.
We're Scouts Honor. We're very well behaved in that. We don't poach from our customers. But when they come to us, we have to answer. But another recent hire in that way was the security director from Etsy, who actually left Brooklyn to move to Detroit. Right. So I think just increasingly, people are looking for different places, right, to really build their careers, and we're happy to be able to support that in a place where it's really still possible, where sometimes it feels like elsewhere it's over-competitive.
Right, got it. Okay, let's shift a little to Duo itself. So you guys are in a pretty hot area right now, given that, we're being hacked left and right. Our businesses are, we are as individuals, and so on. You're doing a pretty interesting thing in that you're kind of providing a new approach to this idea of two-factor authentication. You could vaguely say?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you guys doing that's better than the others out there? Why Duo versus the others?
Yeah, so I think, I think security has become the biggest problem in technology to solve. In fact, we think it's actually the biggest geopolitical problem of our time. Yeah. Even Warren Buffett recently said that...
Makes me want to cry. Sorry.
Us too, sometimes.
Thank you. I'm here till the end of the week, yeah.
I think when even governments can't keep their secrets, really nobody's safe.
Yeah.
And, I think our mission as a company has been to really try to democratize security. It used to be that all the security customers were the banks, the hospitals, the large enterprises, kind of the 1%.
Yeah.
But the cloud and mobile has changed everything.
No one is safe.
No one is safe. Every business has some sort of internet snack or access. Therefore, it has an internet security problem. But who actually solves for them?
Yeah.
And so our goal has been to really make security easy. And that's the core differentiator between us and our products and our philosophy. We think that security has to be radically simplified to a point where everyone can make themselves secure, and it doesn't require a security team or expertise to do so.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that for you guys have raised now quite a lot of money, 49 million, which I think puts you into another level of startup. That's a decent amount of money, right?
Yeah, but I would look more to our customers, the fact that we have almost 10,000 customers around 100 countries, and that, and we're very, we're actually one of the fastest growing SaaS companies,
right.
Not just security company, but SaaS companies in the industry today. And that 49 million, by that measure, is actually pretty small. It's less than half
pretty modest.
Half the median of what most of those companies have raised.
Yeah, SaaS is a very capital-intensive one, for sure.
Yeah, and it turns out, just because we had these winds of change and growth behind us, we've been able to succeed in ways maybe that some of those other companies haven't, spending less than a quarter of that money raised. And, last year was cash flow positive, we're sustainably cash flow positive. We've got a nice war chest to go and fund the next stage of growth.
Okay. Let's talk about growth for a second. You guys are now, your primary product is basically an authentication. focused on authentication, yes?
Yeah, well, we like to call ourselves a trusted access company.
Access company.
But it's, yes, everyone knows us for two-factor authentication, because we did pioneer some of the easiest user experiences there. But yeah, our broader ambition is to really help deliver security via the cloud, which was my co-founder's PhD thesis.
So are you going to be expanding into other things? I mean,
Absolutely.
you know, I was just looking today, there's CrowdStrike does endpoint security. I mean, there's as you know, it's like AI. There are like 1,001 things that go into the world of AI.
Yeah.
So in security, that's the same. So what kind of areas would you move into after or in addition to what you do now?
Yeah, so our focus is really on solving the most fundamental and vexing problems in security, which increasingly are not the ones that we all used to solve 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So over the last 20 years, I think we have built security in a bolt-on way for networks and systems and applications. For any IT application you had out there, you're basically playing whack-a-mole, kind of running around trying to cover, I guess, coat the world in rubber, right? I think in this day and age, there's a lot more security being built in. So products like, Apple iOS, your iPhone has no antivirus, market for it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And things like the cloud actually afford a lot of potential for folks to do things much more securely than they may have been able to do themselves. And so our perspective is in building a security cloud to deliver all the fundamentals that people need to keep themselves safe in an age of cloud and mobile access. One of our independent board members, Stratton Sklavos, is the former CEO of VeriSign, but he was also on Salesforce's board and was on Juniper's board, and he had always called us the Salesforce of security.
Right.
And that's the way we tend to think about the problem, that as they have built a sales cloud, a marketing cloud, a service cloud, the full stack of everything you run your business on, we think that we should be doing the same thing in security. So
you'd like to do the full stack of security, basically?
Absolutely.
So what's next then in that vein?
Yeah, so from users, the second edition of the product that we launched about 18 months ago also provided visibility and insight into the devices that people use to ensure that those devices are safe and well configured and, again, appropriate for access. The third edition of the product that we just launched about 8 weeks ago goes well beyond that. And we've actually called it Duo Beyond as an addition. But it's actually a reference to, I'm going to give another company full credit for it, Google's BeyondCorp strategy.
Okay.
So in the wake of their breaches, and not just them, but Adobe, Juniper, Yahoo, and others were also part of this whole Chinese breach that happened several years ago. Google rethought how they'd approach security, and they really went back to first principles. What can we do to not trust the network?
Right.
And figure out how to ensure that no matter where our people are, where our data is, and how they're using it, that we can ensure we can keep them safe.
Yeah.
And so those basic and foundational principles that they had around BeyondCorp is what we've done to allow every company to run a security operation basically as like Google does, but without requiring all those people.
Right. Something that occurs to me when I look at a lot of the security issues of the day that we've got kind of facing us is that it's constantly evolving threat.
Yeah.
How are you guys able to stay on top of that? I know that you yourself were in Woo hacking group. Are you still in it?
I guess you never really leave.
You never leave? Oh, okay. So we've still got like Top Hacker. I mean, do you still get to do some of that yourself, or are you like Zuck, kind of creaky with the coding now?
The last code I wrote was our Slack bot, which I think my company still blames me for. But I haven't been technically productive in a while. But yeah, I mean, I think it's not just for a company to be disruptive. It's not just enough to be ahead. You have to stay ahead.
Yeah.
A large part of that is in building the kind of engine of innovation, which is not just about technology, but about the people, right? And finding those paths of success that others don't. And again, learning how to continually disrupt the disruptors, right? When you have attackers who are finding their way into everything, as the world has become hyper-connected and there's way more attack surface represented by users, we've had to rethink how we approach security.
Yeah.
How can we design security not for network systems and applications, but for people? For
example, sometimes it's not about access. It's about what happens after the access. Like a lot of stuff happens through phishing.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Like it seems so elementary, and yet I can't tell you how many times my mother-in-law has sent me like some random bit of worm, you know, her email gets affected by something, you know.
Yeah.
Her whole computer seizes up, you know, so.
Yeah, security's become just a very different kind of problem than it's been before.
Yeah.
I think we approach it almost more as a public health sort of strategy. Where if you go back and look at the major breaches that have happened in the industry, I think a lot of people will be shocked to realize that so many of them, almost all of them, really go back to one of two things, either a compromised credential or a compromised device. And it's really that we're falling victim to the same known risks over and over and over again. And why can't people solve that themselves? It's because to actually do proper hygiene and maintain sort of operational security requires typically a lot of people. It's a big burden on IT folks. And so what we believe fundamentally, we have to automate. We have to help provide some operational leverage to organizations, because they're not going to build big security teams. They're not all going to have a mini NSA within their organizations.
Yeah.
And that should be our job to help them do so, or help them not need all that stuff.
Given that, like, you and your co-founder met each other through hacking, right? Am I right about that?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
You were working somewhere else?
Yeah, I started a company called Arbor Networks, also in Arbor, but we were solving a different problem called around DDoS. But we had set up in the office a bunch of wireless honeypots. So, you know, as anyone in security ends up having a foot in basically both worlds, offensive and defensive. And this honeypot was there simply to catch people, right? See who was looking at our network and coming in. Turned out one of those people ended up being my co-founder.
Okay.
Because I caught him actually in the back stairwell of our office hacking with a friend.
He was working in the Starbucks in the building, right?
Yeah. But you know, very happy that he did, because we've been able to then again take a lot of those motivations and apply them usefully.
That's wonderful. Thanks so much, Doug. I really appreciate your time.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.